Jerusalem's Gay Pride Parade started just a short time ago, and it may be the biggest ever, with a mixture of celebration and anger. Tens of thousands of people are expected at the parade, which comes only days after Israel voted to deny surrogacy for same-sex couples. Also hanging over the parade, the memory of a 16-year-old girl stabbed there 3 years ago. Well, Oren Liebermann is joining us now. He's along the parade route. What have people been saying to you? What's the mood like?
Well, Robyn, thousands of people here have been streaming behind me along this street for the past 20 minutes or so, and that gives you a sense of the size of this parade. Organizers estimate some 25,000 people came out for the Pride Parade this year. There is certainly a festive atmosphere here, but also a bit of anger. As you pointed out, it was just a few days ago, perhaps a week and a half ago or so, that Israel voted to deny surrogacy rights to same-sex couples, gay couples in particular, and that is part of that anger here, and that's part of why so many people turned out here. I'm joined now by Eran Globus. You are the chairman of the Jerusalem Open House for Pride and Tolerance. Why have so many people come out on this day here?
Well, I think it's very clear that Jerusalem is where decisions are made. And if we don't protest at Jerusalem when decisions are discriminatory, when decisions are against our community, I think the public has made it very clear today that the Israeli public supports the LGBT community in its fight for equal rights.
And for you, this is just a beginning. This isn't a one-off march. Where does this go from here? Where do you see this going from here?
Well, hopefully to working with our government to make sure equal rights are achieved. But if not, we have a plan B. We are prepared for a summer of protests. We are prepared to working with our allies in other coalitions abroad to make sure Netanyahu gives us equal rights. Let me say just this. The huge turnout today shows that his political base is indeed, we have people from the left and from the right here. Israel supports gay rights and supports equal rights. And this is what the government doesn't understand yet, but we'll make it very clear.
Eran Globus, the chairman for the Jerusalem Open House, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Security also a big issue here. We've seen police lining the route all along. Hundreds, if not a couple thousand police officers securing the route along the entire area. There was one group protesting the parade at the beginning, the park where this started. Certainly that wasn't a protest that came anywhere near the size of the parade here behind me, Robyn. I think you can hear it to some extent, and you can see the parade still marching by here.
And how much, when you talk about security, how much fear is there of a backlash from the ultra-Orthodox community, particularly after what happened 3 years ago?
And that in and of itself is worth talking about, as that was one of the most sensitive spots of the parade, the spot where 16-year-old Shira Banki was stabbed and killed as she came here to march with her friends. Is there a sense of fear here? Not really. You don't feel it, but part of that is the security, knowing that there were planned protests here. There were calls for protests against the parade, and because of that, police came out here in force to make sure the parade went off quietly, smoothly, and was allowed to march throughout the streets of Jerusalem.
Thanks so much, Oren Liebermann there in Jerusalem. Thanks so much. Now, before we go to Wall Street, where history is being made, Apple is now the first US